Well, hello internets, here we are. I apologize if I sound kind of rough, but it's been kind of rough. We have ourselves a vlog ahead of us. Not sure how long it's going to be. Might be a two-parter. I've got a bit of a story to tell. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, not 100% sure where I was in the whole vlogging thing, but I ended up staying at a campsite for a little while and kind of decompressed from the big road trip. You know how I was a little stressed after leaving Drumheller, going through the back way. I was having trouble with my phone and my truck going through the back way, the middle of nowhere. Service was blocked and my GPS location on the truck couldn't be reached, and I'd used up all my high-speed data on my phone, and every time I would go into a valley or a ravine or down a hill, then the GPS would reset and I'd have to re-enter, redo, and then it took me several ways that day that were way longer than they needed to go on opposite routes or further routes than what even Google Maps now suggests on Wi-Fi. And you know, I underestimated the cost, how expensive of things have become since 2019. I thought I had a fairly decent budget to do what I wanted to do this summer, and possibly even stay out for nearly 2.5 months, which is a bit of a stretch, but I felt comfortable with what I had, especially staying away from museums, staying away from tourist traps, and staying in my trailer for the nights. Now I know I did spend some time in a campground in Drumheller, but that was a pre-existing agreement. That money didn't take into account in the budget of the grand summer adventure. And in the time that I left Drumheller to essentially the time that I got to Hannah or even Wainwright, I had blown what I figured would be about a 6 or so a week's worth of budget. The prices were high. The truck used more fuel. Dragging that trailer was a little bit of a stressful thing. I'm not sure why it used more fuel this time. You know, do my spark plugs and stuff tune up? Truck need a tune up after, you know, 40,000 K kind of a thing, which I think it's probably coming close. Maybe 60. I have no idea what these new vehicles require for you know, spark plugs and wires. Do they even have spark plugs anymore? You know, as far as I'm concerned, like, who even knows, right? Opens their hood anymore. Yeah, I know, I open my hood, I check the oil, I just never really looked to see what it has. And so there's several factors at play there, and I was tired, I was hurting, I was, you know, I had pushed myself the previous, what would it have been, 3 weeks, and didn't really have my normal decompression rest days that I normally take for my own health kind of a thing. Combined with everything that was going on, my dog was also sick. She wasn't herself. She wasn't eating, wasn't herself, and well, for those that are on my social media, and like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, you'll know what happened. But I had to take her into the vet, and they had to do essentially. She had an infection that caused a few things, and then there was a lump on her hind end that needed to be looked at. So I decided to cut the epic road trip summer filming footage for winter, stuff like that, short, deal with, well, my dog, you know, my family, and that's kind of where it pretty much ended. I spent a few days in a campsite close to home, and because I wasn't really ready to come back home yet, and the dog had her surgery and came back home, and I started cleaning out the trailer and discovered a few things about the old Jayco that needs to be kind of remedied. When I bought the Jayco back in 2018, I knew it had potential of some problems, but it looked like it was fine. It would look like it was dried out. It looked like it was good. It, you know, didn't look bad to me. When I got it home, got picking at it, got looking closer, there was a little soft spot about the size of a $1 bill by the bathroom toilet area, and you know, I knew that there was a potential problem there. Now, through things that have happened, you know, life changes. Sometimes things get overlooked, and it was fine during 2019, and 2020 I started using the cover for the soft spot, so it didn't I didn't put my foot through it by accident or something. 2020 was a little bit of a rough year. 2021 was a disaster. I didn't really get back to the bathroom to have a look at it because, well, that fall, as you guys know, I was almost dead, kind of a thing. I probably should have been in the hospital, but I'm stubborn that way, and I'm still stubborn that way. Well, upon seeing the start of the camping season, seeing the state of the floor, I kind of knew from like back in early June what was happening. I thought maybe I could ignore it for a little bit, maybe I could use it, maybe I could live with it until I could decide what to do with the trailer. But through camping with it for a month, or a little over a month-ish in time frame, there's something more there than just a soft spot on the floor. I went in the other day to take out some of this year's stuff that I put in, as well as, you know, some of the extra stuff that I didn't need in there anymore due to things going on. And I ended up getting a little sick. Well, me being me, I needed to know what was going on. So I started digging closer into corners and bringing stuff out, and now I ended up crashing for a bit. One of my main allergies is like molds and mildew, must, all that good stuff, and when I have a small exposure, I have issues breathing, get kind of stiff, get kind of feeling crappy, you know, throw up, kind of a typical nasty allergic kind of reaction. When I have a, I don't know, moderate or medium exposure, I have a very large allergic reaction. I have trouble moving, like extreme stiffness in my joints, trouble breathing. It can go further than that. And then when I have a large exposure, it's pretty much a hospital visit, and I end up hooked up to tubes and oxygen and breathing and all that good stuff. And with the current, well, with the thing that we've all been through over the last 2 to 3 years, if I walked into the hospital with those kind of symptoms, they would definitely put me in a bubble for sure and quarantine me for, you know, whatever it would be, 39 days or something. I have come to the conclusion that even though it's going to be costly, even though I'm probably going to lose camping for a few seasons, even though I'd love to explore Alberta and stuff, I can no longer use the Jayco trailer in the condition it's in. And with me, my sensitivity to mold and my lack of tools, even though I just bought a table saw, it's not going to be a good thing for me to tear into it. I have no place to work, I have no garage, I don't have the tools I used to have, and the big kicker, I shouldn't be doing it. I know I could probably wear a hazmat suit. You can get them on Amazon for like $12.99. You get like, you know, 50 of them or something, and every time you leave the trailer, you drop your suit and maybe even change your clothes. Treat it like a hazmat, because essentially that's what it is. And once the demo's done, the reclamation or the demo or decontamination, then you can clean it up and maybe start putting it back together. I am not ready to give up on the Jayco yet. Like I'm not. I want to fix it. When you look at other trailers with signs of water damage or repaired water damage are still between $9,000 and $10,000. Trailers that are a 2010 or maybe 2012 are like $14,000. There was one I seen that was $17,000. That was right in that age range, and it's like, I'm gonna need 15 grand or 20 grand to replace this thing, right? So I need to find a way very, very soon to get in there, gut it, decontaminate it, get it ready for rebuild. Probably rebuild next spring, because I got nothing right now for the rebuilding process for monetary wise. And I just got to figure out how to do it without essentially, you know, ending up in the hospital for 6 months and then, you know, whatever, right? I think a good mask and those decontamination suits and changing my clothes would be a definite good start. If I left here wearing one of the paper suits, I never looked to see if it was paper or if it's the plastic. I have to look, because the paper ones don't stand up. The plastic ones are better, from personal experience anyway. The one job I had, if I leave here wearing the plastic suit, and then when I step out of the trailer when I'm done demoing, I step out of the suit and step into sweatpants or shorts or shirt to come home, and then I shower immediately that I'm home, and then wash those clothes even though they've only been used for 10-20 minutes, kind of a thing. And if I did that maybe 5 or 6 times, then I might have it decontaminated, at least in my mind anyway. Where is the water potentially coming from? I don't see no roof damage, I don't see no seam split, I don't see no signs of leaking from the top down. Now, before I bought the trailer, the guy I bought it from did say that his hot water tank ruptured and it was pouring water out of the bottom of the trailer. Now underneath the bunk there, the linoleum was cut back and there was staining on the OSB. Not even plywood, it's OSB. That the sheeting, that the floor is. So I knew that there was potential or past. So this new damage, I don't know if it's old damage that took its time to rear its head, or if it's my gray tank has split, froze maybe, ruptured, froze. Maybe if it's not winterized properly by the RV place that I take it to, maybe the P-trap didn't get, so then when I use the sink, maybe the water drains out of the gray trap into a low area and then soaks from the wood from there. Because when you follow the staining on the linoleum that I noticed got really, really bad between last year and now, it leads to where the underneath the closet where the gray tank is. So another thing, see, I also park my trailer with the nose up a inch or two, little higher than, just higher than level-ish, so any water or snow runs off the trailer, not pools and sits on there, right? So another reason why I think it's coming from the sink or the gray tank area is the staining runs from there down to the back of the trailer. If it was, like, do RV toilets have wax rings or toilet rings? If it was a toilet ring seal, then it wouldn't run uphill now, would it? It would run downhill. It might be a combination of things. It might be pre-existing water, it might be new water, and it might be something different altogether. This trailer has the frame, then a sheet of metal, and then the OSB, and I have no idea why they would put a sheet of metal between the frame and the wood. I sort of understand the purpose of the sheet of metal. It probably keeps critters from chewing through from the downside up. It probably keeps rocks from chewing through or pounding through from the downside up. It might even provide a little bit of collision protection from putting a rock through the floor if you're one of those guys that drags their trailer through the trees, you know. But if there's water coming in from the downside, from the upside down, if there's water coming in from the upside down, then it's going to sit between the metal and the wood, because the metal's not porous, the metal's not going to drain, and then it'll hold it right there, and your floor will rot out. And if it's a continuous leak, as in toilet seal or black tank, the water's got nowhere to go. It can't go down. It won't go back up, because that's not the nature. It doesn't rise unless it's containment. It just soaks and keeps festering, and your little dollar bill spot gets wider and wider and wider until it's eventually the whole back half of the trailer. So I have an idea what it is. I think it's still solid. I've pounded on the walls and they don't sound hollow. There's no delamination going on in that area. There's no visible signs of water damage from the outside looking in. Like I said, the only visible signs are the staining and the soft spot on the floor. Like soft spot. Probably I'd be standing on the black tank if it wasn't for that sheet of metal holding everything together. If it wasn't for the black tank, I'd probably be standing on the ground, of all things. And that probably would have happened 2 years ago or more because of, well, obvious things. So I have to decide what to do. I know it's going to be an extreme risk health-wise for me to even go in there to get the remainder of my stuff. Much less tear into it, be exposed to it. Can I fix it? Can I do it? Is it too far gone? Is it gonna put me in the hospital to even attempt? I know I've listed I have listed the trailer for sale, and I've said in the ad what's going on, what it is. The price I'm asking is a little bit more than I would take for it, but you got to do that when you're dealing with people. Is you ask a little high, and then they will come at you with a lesser of an offer, and they will think they got a good deal, but really they paid exactly the price that in your mind, in your math, in your head, that you wanted for the trailer. According to my math, my memories, I may have used the trailer more, but I think I used it around 75 days. If you factor in motel rooms at $100 and some odd a night, you know, 70 some odd days if is X number of dollars, like $7,500 or, you know, $8,000 or whatever, and you factor in the repairs that I did, like fixing the microwave and the last 4 years of winterization and the new tires and all that piddly stuff that really you can't really count anyway. I'm essentially selling the trailer for what I have into it, or what is slightly owed on the original purchase price. So really, it's only a couple $1,000s more than what it would actually sell as a flat deck trailer for people for their quads or skidoos, and that's after you've sold the appliances that work and the windows that are still good. You know, the awning. You know, the awning would work on a cargo trailer. Same with the fridge. Same with that little furnace. People love them furnaces. So there's lots of parts there for the options, right? And it may come to that as well. You never know. I just don't know. I probably not wise for me to do all of this myself. I asked around, try to find shop space to get a trailer that size into, and nobody's willing to rent out the back bay of their shop for a month or two, even if it's like been sitting empty for years. They'd rather let it sit empty than actually rent out the back bay to some guy that really doesn't even need their power. He just needs a place to park the trailer and fire up his Jenny and do the work. He doesn't even need to use their power. He just needs to have the space to open the doors and work. I can't do it where I'm living. I can't do it where the trailer's stored. So I'm not 100% sure what direction to go. If it sits all winter into next summer, yeah, I won't be able to even go in the trailer without getting sick. If it sits a year until next fall, it's going to be hard for me to even walk around the trailer without getting sick. That's sort of how sensitive I am. I can walk around the RV lot, and I can be downwind from a trailer, and I can actually smell it, and I can almost narrow it down to what trailer it's coming from, because they've been sitting for 2 or 3 years in that RV stall. The owners are trying to figure out what to do with them or whatever they're sitting for. But gonna get on with the day, gonna see how it goes, gonna post a little more pictures, re-edit the ad, and decide what I'm gonna do with the 2008 Jayco J-Feather 197 Sport. It was a good trailer for the guy that bought it new. He had it for 10 years. I've had it since 2018, which is what, 4 years? And it's been a good trailer for me. Kept me dry, got me out there doing some adventures. Would like to keep it for another 7 to 10 more years. But at the same time, sometimes things don't happen exactly the way you want them to go. So, gonna get on with the day and see what's the what, and we'll catch you all later. Well, hello internets, here we are. I'm gonna split this vlog into part 2, because, well, I'm still not done talking about the trailer. And to risk having an hour-long vlog, I'm gonna split it up, edit it down, and maybe try to get it into 2 15-minute segments. So I'm gonna end her all here, because, well, it was a good one. Where I've been, what I've done, where I've gone, things I've seen, what videos I did shoot, what photos I did take, the enjoyment of the holiday, getting away, relaxing, and all that good stuff. And then, you know, a little bit of the letdown with the trailer, and the struggles that I'm facing as to what to do with it. But today it was what it is, and it is what it was. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.